Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is Thursday, the 18th of July, and the moon is in Sag. A couple of things about the moon in Sag. The moon in Sag is a philosophical moon. It's also a big picture moon, and it is a moon that likes its freedom. So those are all themes that come up today. There are a number of aspects worth talking about. There is an early morning square to Saturn of the moon. Saturn tends to restrict, and as I said, the Sag moon doesn't like to be restricted. So we're gonna wake up, I think, with this uncomfortable feeling, and there certainly is quite a bit of instability, and people are searching. Again, no matter what you thought of the situation, whatever you thought happened, whether it was real or staged or whatever, when a leader, and I put leader in quotes, is attacked in that way, it does sort of destabilize things, right? Even in a already destabilized time. So we do sort of feel like we're trying to find our feet through all of this. Now, today we have the sun make a sextile to Uranus. Sextiles open the lines of communication. The sun is illumination, and Uranus brings in an energy of change, but also an energy of being open to new ideas, new ways of thinking about things. And new solutions, really, to issues. So we'll keep that in mind. We also actually have a lovely trine between Mercury, the planet of communication, and Chiron in Aries. Of course, Chiron has been in Aries for a long time now. It will be in Aries for a couple more years. And we always deal with issues of self when Chiron is in Aries, of war, of anger, of guns, actually, of sense of self and the rights to yourself. And today with the trine to Mercury, talking about those things can be more done in a more sensitive manner, which I think would be a bit of a change compared to what's been going on. But of course, there's a lot of talking heads, and I really feel like if you want to know what's going on, the last place you want to do is turn on the media, because I feel as though things are already like phantasmagorical, and then they just try to instead of informing us, they just seem to be trying to, I don't know, prod us into more instability. And I always, I question that, because it's like that trauma response. There's a book by Naomi, oh God, anyway, I can't think of her name. I'm going to mess her up with the other Naomi, so I don't. Naomi Klein, I think that's the one. The shock doctrine, where these shocking things happen, and while everybody's like all agog and all sort of out of sorts because of it, the powers that be, or whoever, sneak things in. And so there's a real sense, I think, at this time, at least for me. And so I think the best thing to do at this time is just to step back, avoid getting triggered and upset by the things that you're seeing, or that are being shown to you. Perhaps that's more apt. It's interesting because the changes, the opening lines of communication between the sun and Uranus, we need a new way of doing things. We need new ideas. We need the new to come in. And the moon towards the end of the day, finds itself in a yod with this discussion of change, these conversations about change, these conversations about the future. And it doesn't necessarily jibe with our beliefs about things. So we're going to feel like, I think we're going to feel like not everything is being shown to us. Perhaps we're being lied to. Well, I think we just have to step back from all of this and see where things fall. If you don't have any power, like here in America, our power is in our vote, right? Well, of course, we did vote. Us Democrats did vote for Biden, although we really didn't get much of a choice. I mean, he was the guy on the ticket. Like, well, we chose him, but he did. He was the only guy on the ticket. And I understand why. He's done a lot of good things, right? So, and of course, he's done some things that we all go, and why are we doing this? So, nobody's perfect ever, and so, but, he is our president, and he's, as I said, he's done some good things for the people of America. So that is something to consider. And then at the end of the day, the last aspect, 5 minutes before midnight here on the East Coast, is a semi-square between the Sun and Jupiter. The Sun and Jupiter are the two largest planetary bodies in the sky, and make up most of the mass of the solar system. Of course, the Sun, right? But Jupiter is the largest planet and is considered maybe a sleeping star. There's another word for that, but I can't remember. It's too early. I haven't had my coffee. But this can bring up some resentment and discontent. So today is not going to be, I don't think, at least mentally, and what we're seeing out there, going to make us feel necessarily any better. But as I say that, I want to talk about briefly the magic of a Sag moon and the magic of the time that we're in. I remember when 9/11 happened. I was sitting with Michael. We were in our living room. We lived on the Cape at that time. And I was just coming into the room, and Michael says, "Come in here and look at this." And that's when we watched the planes hit the towers. And I grew up in Jersey City, and I could see the World Trade Center from my bathroom window. And so my family lived in New Jersey. I have family and friends that worked in the towers and around the towers, and would take the PATH train to the World Trade Center to get to their other jobs that weren't necessarily in the towers. But, you had to go through, in order to get to work, they had to, come up from the subway station from under the tower. So it was, kind of disturbing. And I called my mother, and she was at my aunt's house. And at my aunt's house, you could look down the street, and it looked like the Twin Towers were like right there. And so it was a fraught time, as many of you remember who were alive at that time. And then at a certain point, I went out into the front yard because it was just too much to look at, too much to bear. And it was, as many of you know, the most beautiful fall day. The sky was clear blue. I could hear we lived near a military base, and so you could hear whatever they were, F-14s, or whatever the hell they were flying at that time, leaving the base, and there was a lot of activity. But beyond that, all you could hear were the birds. And I sat out in nature and I listened to the birds, and I realized that the birds knew nothing about this, that really Mother Nature knew nothing about it, and Mother Nature just continued to do her thing. And it brought me a lot of peace. So what I want to suggest to you is shut off the TV, shut off the pundits. You're going to find out one way or the other. And when you do find out, you're either going to be happy or sad. So the best thing to do is just spend your day being happy, because even if you're sad, at the end of this day, you're going to be happy that you had some happiness. That's my advice for the day. We're living in interesting times, are we not? And looks like Charlie. Hey, Charlie, you hungry? He's ignoring me. I'm crushed. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful day. There was a couple of things blooming, but I'll show you the thistle again here. I think more of these flowers are opening, but it looks like we're going to have to... This thing is starting to fall, and it's really prickly. So, oh, look at the bees. The bees love it. I hate to cut anything down that the bees love, but eventually this is going to have to come out before it gets... The flowers turn into that fluffy stuff, and then we're going to have this all over the yard. And as much as I love it, it's a little dangerous to have it everywhere. All right, guys, take care. Have yourself a wonderful day, and get out into nature if you can. I'm out in nature right now because it's not as hot as it's been, but it's been awfully hot, and that always puts me in a bad mood as well. So I have to say I'm not in the best of moods, but I'm just going to sit here with Charlie, and we're going to watch the bees on the bumblebees on the honeysuckle, breathe in the fragrance of the perfumes of nature, and pray for peace. Take care.